This is Rob Liefeld. Kai Reviewed is going down.
I met Bob Kane, who created Batman in the comics, under a kind of curious circumstance. I was doing a stage show at Shea Stadium, New York, and I'd brought in a bunch of people, Frank Gorshin as Riddler, and an orchestra and dancers, and we were rehearsing before that night, and the stage was maybe 10 feet tall. And I noticed as Batman was singing a song and goofing around and doing a little dance, whatever, there was a guy in front of me that kept staring, and I thought, who is this stalker? Who let this guy in? And he kept staring at me. And I said, let's take 5 guys. And we took 5, and I went backstage, which was kind of a huge tent affair behind the stage, and I looked in a big mirror to take off the cowl, which was pretty tight and hot. And as I pulled off the cowl, hands reach out of the darkness and grabbed the cowl, the mask, and said, I created you. I created this. And it was Bob Kane. That was my introduction to Bob Kane. He was a character. Bob Kane loved the show. That at least is what he told me. And it was my impression when Bob came on the set. What his secret thoughts were about the show, I have no idea, because later on, with the new Batman movies, Bob had, I think, was technical advisor or something like that. Bob really had no creative input. The production company, the creative people around me, with us, we were doing our thing. And I think maybe DC Comics resented that a bit, but they sure sold a lot more books.
Exactly 50 years ago in New York City, an 18-year-old boy sat down and created Batman. Now Bob Kane can see his invention spring into life like never before.
Well, I was born with a proverbial golden pencil in my hand. I guess I've been drawing ever since I was 5 years old. When I was a kid, I was always interested in the innovative stages of the locomotive, of the steam engine, of the flying machine. All automobiles, all early innovations always fascinated me. And I saw this book by Leonardo da Vinci when I was 13. And da Vinci had a quote, "Your bird shall have no other wings but that of a bat." And he actually, there it was for me, a Batman.
Today, that vintage edition of Detective Comics is worth more than $20,000. And many millions more are being spent on the Gruber Peters movie of Batman from Warner Brothers.
He'll be the Batman of the 90s because he's a realistic Batman. He's not the typical, atypical image. And sometimes when you go against typecasting, you have even a better show. When I heard about them doing the movie again at Pinewood, the only actor I could think of was Jack Nicholson. He is the Joker. He's not the opposite. Here I am at Pinewood Studios in England, looking at Gotham City transposed from my hometown of New York. When I was just a kid growing up in New York City, walking in the main streets of Manhattan, I envisioned Gotham the way I see it now at Pinewood. They've got every brick and every building and cornerstone here. It's just marvelous.
Sales for Batman Returns soar past $50 million in well under a week. Batmania is loose upon the land, and as today's Inside Story proves, symptoms have been around for more than half a century. Batmania is whipping the country into a frenzy with the record-breaking success of Batman Returns. But Batman has actually been flying for over 50 years. Artist Bob Kane, who created the Caped Crusader for comic books in 1939, says his Bat hero is a fantasy character many people can relate to.
I would like to drive a Batmobile and do daring-do deeds and save Catwoman from the evil and try to reform her and maybe marry her, you know. It's all in a fictional world.
Kane says he modeled the Batman on drawings from Leonardo da Vinci and on the character of Zorro. When Batman hit comic books, he swept the competition.
The first year it really was. It took off, and oddly enough, it took off even greater when I created Robin a year later in 1940. And I started to think, hey, maybe this has possibilities to go someplace. And then in 1943, they did a movie serial in Hollywood. In 1949, they did another movie serial.
Batman comic books have even become fine art. This Chicago gallery displays Batman, and this strip alone is worth $6,000. So this new wave of Batmania is nothing new. Batman has been big bucks for over half a century.
And so I think it'll go on for another 50 years. And one day I'll be looking down from the Batcave in the sky and say, hey, they're doing Batman 462. Please send the residuals up.
Batman creator Bob Kane's bank account will likely continue to grow. He says discussions are already underway for Batman. Batmania winged into a Rodeo Drive art gallery for an exclusive exhibition of original Batman artworks by artist Bob Kane, who created the Caped Crusader 50 years ago. Prices went from several thousand to several $100,000, and Kane gave his best sales pitch to Batman director Tim Burton.
They're all the originals, Tim. They're only a few $100,000. Now you can afford them.
You created Batman when you were 19 years old. Did you ever expect the kind of ongoing success you've had with him?
Well, holy phenomenon, Kelly, I tell you, it's just amazing. And it's 50 years now. It's the 50th anniversary of Batman. And it seems like only yesterday. I feel like 18 years old. Don't feel any older. And I don't feel any more famous, so to speak. I think it's an amazing phenomenon. It's just a happening, and you can't explain a happening.
The happening happened because Kane never doubted his dramatic destiny.
I knew what I wanted to do when I was 10 years old. I was really a compulsive doodleholic. In New York, I used to scribble on everything, on the sidewalks of New York and on the buildings and on my school books. And I just knew I wanted to be a famous cartoonist.
Batman's been through every cartoon incarnation. From the drafting table to the painting easel, his creator has made some changes as well.
After the TV show became a big hit, I retired from drawing the comic book in 1966. However, I didn't retire. I was quite young then. I was probably 45, and I started painting Batman. And of course, the fruits of my labor are here at Gallery Michael on Rodeo Drive. I'm having my first one-man show in Los Angeles. And from here, we're going to Paris and London and all over the world with one-man shows.
You're his creator. Is he like a child that you sometimes are sick of? He's grown up. You'd like to send him on his way?
Batman will live forever. I wish I were 18 to start another 50-year run. Unfortunately, I won't be here. But I'll go to the Batcave in the sky, and I'll look down and watch my creation go on and on and on ad infinitum.
The way the Caped Crusader creates cash, no one's willing to let him drop his eternal vigilance, least of all Bob Kane.
One day, when I'm 120 or so, I'll look down from the Batcave in the sky at my little creation that goes on and on and on, and I'll just say, hey, Warner Brothers and Leonardo, just send me the residuals in the sky. I'll give you my address. It's up there with where the angels are.
I'm sure there's more than just angels flying around that Batcave. This is Kelly Cole for Movie Time.
In my wildest imagination as a kid, I was 18 years old when I created the Batman. Did I ever realize where this thing would go? I just wanted to create a superhero. I always had an empathy for the poor and the underdog, maybe because I thought I grew up, it wasn't really poverty, but it wasn't rich either. And I always felt kind of an affinity for people that are poor and fighting against all the odds that most people fight against. And I wanted to be like Batman. And so we all create, I think, within our own realm of our own imagination. Whatever the creation is, it doesn't fall far from the creator's pen or his soul.
You know, I think to me, it's like we all carry around a hero inside of ourselves every day, you know, and it's that guy, it's Batman. And it's like, I thank Bob for that, for me personally, but I think we all owe him a debt of gratitude, because in that hero that we carry around, we realize that the hero is us, because he's just a man. So, in truth, we're all the Batman. So thank you, guys. Thank you, Bob.
Anna, can we get them to rotate? So it is with great honor that I accept this award on behalf of Elizabeth, Bob's family, and Batman fans around the world. Here's to another 75 great years with The Dark Knight. Thank you.
Bob Kane is the man who has been credited on Batman for most of Batman's history.
When you open a comic book, there it says created by Bob Kane. When you see the movies, it says created by Bob Kane.
Bill Finger was the dominant creative force of Batman, Robin, the Joker, Catwoman, the Riddler, the Penguin, the Scarecrow, Commissioner Gordon, Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson, and Gotham City.
I know Bob's trying to take credit for everything. Everything you would think is good, that's Bill.
I was a ghost. I really was.
We're here for Kyle Reviewed on YouTube, the very best Kyle Reviewed channel on all the YouTube Kyle Reviewed channels. You got that? You got that right? Thank you for watching Kyle Reviewed. Deadpool and I thought it was fantastic. You need to like, you need to subscribe. You know how it's done? Like, subscribe. Right, DP? All right, Kyle Reviewed. Cool channel.